All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We are back, fresh from vacation. Welcome to episode 6 of Tuesday Night's Main Event. I can't really tell if the sound effects is working. I gotta work on that or whatever. But we back, man. Fresh off of vacation, man. I've been gone for a week or been gone for a few days. Y'all know I pre-recorded everything last week. My voice feels a whole lot better. Um, y'all will hear more about my vacation on Thursday, or I'm sorry, y'all will hear more about my vacation tomorrow because I am doing Pizzle's Picks and Club Pizzle early. But y'all not here for that. Y'all are here because this is you guys' favorite wrestling pod from your neighborhood friendly pod guy. So here we are, man. We are back again for another one, man. Again, this is episode 6. Thank you guys for your continued support of these first 5 episodes. The feedback is great. I am having a blast doing this. Let's just get to it, man, because y'all know my motto. We are here for a good time and not a long time. That is one of my mottos. I got a bunch of mottos, but that's just one of them that I throw up there, man. Let's start with the recap of Friday Night SmackDown, which was the final Friday Night SmackDown after 5 years on Fox. Friday Night SmackDown is done there. They will be moving to USA this Friday, which means for the first time, I believe this is the first time all 3 shows, Raw, SmackDown, and NXT, are all on the same network. I remember when Raw and SmackDown were both on USA for a while, and SmackDown was on Tuesdays, Raw was on Mondays. That lasted for a little bit before they moved it to Fridays to move it to Fox. I just want to say, like, the Fox experience on SmackDown, it was cool for the most part. The last few months got rocky. It seemed like after they announced that SmackDown was coming back to USA, things got a little funny. Also, when the Triple H era began, the language got a little looser, but Fox is not having that type of stuff going on their network. So, like the blacked out screens and the muting of stuff. But shout out to Fox, man. Fox, for the most part, did a great job. The Thunderdome era was a lot of it. Was a lot of that SmackDown on Fox. We saw the rise of the bloodline of that storyline, the Roman Reigns dominance for 4 years there. Yeah, man, we saw a lot there. But let's just get to that final show. It was kind of like they knew, like, all right, this thing is over with. So let's just kind of, I'm not gonna say they phoned it in, but it was kind of, I wasn't the happiest, with the exception of the main event. But I will talk about, let's just get to it, man. It started off with Cody trying to plant seeds of doubt within that bloodline, telling Solo Sikoa, you really don't deserve a title shot. No, he was like, you know what? Like he started off like Solo's talking, and they come out, and I really love the Cody Rhodes victory lap that he's been taking since WrestleMania and getting these big receptions and all of this love at all the arenas that he goes to. I was lucky enough to catch that victory lap for SmackDown before SummerSlam and at SummerSlam itself. It was a great experience, man. That is so dope. I've been to WWE pretty much every time they've come to Cleveland in the past 3 or 4 years or what have you. So being able to experience, like, with the Cody comeback, and now with this, like, it's a sight to see, and just seeing that crowd just love him and just eat everything up that he does, and woes, and It's great. I got off track, but let's get back here. Solo comes out, the Bloodlines comes out, he's talking, and Cody's like, you know what, you're right. You do deserve a title shot. You know? And he's like, I ain't talking to you, Solo. I'm talking to you, Jacob Fatu. And Jacob goes to step up. And Solo's like, hey, bro, what are you doing? So those seeds of doubt being planted there. With this new era, with Triple H, in this new era here, as I'm playing with my lights, don't mind me. This payoff or this Jacob versus Solo thing may not happen for at least 6 months or 2 months. The Royal Rumble is a few months from now. I could see it possibly something going on there. Definitely not before War Games if they're going to go OG Bloodline versus Bloodline, which I am expecting to happen at some point. They're planting the seeds. Bad Blood is coming up end of the month. So we are bound to see beginning of October. I'm sorry, because there's no September pay-per-view because they did SummerSlam on the 3rd and then the 31st or the 30th or whatever. Bash in Berlin took place. So they're taking September to build up, and I think we're going to get a proper 4 to 6 week build for this and for Bad Blood. But again, Solo's like, yo, what you doing, bro? And he's like, get down. And Jacob got down, and that seed is planted. So just put that in y'all's Rolodex that, hey, Jacob can get a possible title shot, and or Jacob can possibly go after Solo. Then they come in to try to jump Cody, and then out comes the Street Profits and DIY. Nick Aldis steps in. I love Nick Aldis as the GM, by the way. He's awesome as GM. Like, he's no nonsense. Pierce on Raw kind of is nutless. Might I want to do? Is that what I'm? He could come off as spineless sometimes, or passive, or like scared of the guys, because they do be kind of like punking him. Like Bronson Reed was punking Pierce for a while. Let's be honest about that. Like, we can tell the truth about it. And I love Adam Pierce as a GM. I love both of these guys in the positions that they have them. Pierce is great. Aldis is great. Both of those guys, man. And I was just like, all right, I need y'all to chill. So this is what we're going to do. Solo, Cody, y'all meet next week on the USA debut of SmackDown on Friday Night SmackDown. And it's going to be in a steel cage match. We all know what's going to happen. Steel cage or no steel cage, Bloodline's getting involved. We possibly could see Roman Reigns Friday. We possibly could see Jimmy Uso Friday. We possibly could see another Bloodline member come Friday. Because Roman, as a tribal chief, the original tribal chief, OTC, he doesn't have muscle. He doesn't have his muscle. And the Hikuleo rumors have been out for a while. Could he be that muscle? And that'd be funny, because the way it looks. Because you got Solo, Jacob, that is what it is. But you got Tama Tonga and Tongaloa as brothers, and then their brother will be on the other side as the muscle to the Usos, who is Solo's brother. Like, that's a crazy family, man. Like, just imagine, like, this family, and they probably sat around tables at some point in time Most of them are close in age. So I could possibly see them like discussing. Like this stuff has been discussed at family reunions. And I know that the elders are proud. Rikishi, I know he's proud. Haku, I know he's proud and happy. The Tonga Kid, I know is happy. I saw Tonga Kid is doing podcasts now, and he's popping up on podcasts, and he is ecstatic because his son is absolutely killing it. Jacob Fatu is the real deal, y'all. So the steel cage match next Friday, well, this coming Friday on SmackDown is going to be a banger. Give Solo credit. Solo he's gotten better. Like when this thing first started, it was kind of like, all right, this is a little goofy. Bringing in Tama Tonga was genius. Damn, flying around. Oh, I can't wait to move to my new studio. 3 more weeks, y'all, and I'll be in my new studio. 4 weeks, 4 weeks. Next month, end of this month, I'll be in my new studio. But like, because like bringing in the Tongans, it's gotten better. But now Roman's back or coming back. I'm expecting Jimmy back. I do expect Jay to join his brother and his cousin. And you probably have Hikuleo. And somehow it's going to switch. And I can see the old switcheroo, the old bait and switch, where if they really want to do an OG bloodline, they can exile. Somehow Solo will get exiled by Jacob, and Jacob will be the tribal chief, and Hikuleo will be in turn, or something along those lines that happen. Because with Hikuleo, he's 6'8", y'all. He's a giant. And he towers he towers above the rest. So I mean we'll see how it all plays out there. The women's championship picture on SmackDown is murky at best. It just seems like they're biding time because Nia's not gotten in the ring. It seems like she hasn't fought since SummerSlam. All of this, it seems to be leading up to her being a transitional champion and letting Tiffy cash in on her. It's going to somehow, it'll be Nia and Bayley running it back. Tiffy's out there. Tiff cashes in on Nia. And then that'll set up like Charlotte Flair is on the mend. Charlotte Flair is on her way back. Jade and Bianca have the women's tag titles right now. I'll have more on them later. Chelsea Green, not a threat yet. Piper Niven can be. They just have to put her in more matches and put her in more positions. You got Lyra and you got Isla and Blair Davenport, who are all part of a faction. Which one of them? Blair Davenport? So the women's SmackDown Championship picture, it's really Nia, Bayley, Tiffy, until Charlotte gets back. So I'm really not a fan of it, but it really does seem like they're just biding time for Tiffy to cash in because those seeds of doubt between those two, like you could see that friendship deteriorating. Like from jump, as soon as she gave her the personalized briefcase, it's like, oh yeah, this is definitely happening. What the hell was up with Giovanni Vinci? They do all of what they do, got these vignettes for him to lose in 3 seconds to Apollo Crews. There has to be something more to this. It has to be something more to this thing with Gio, because they've repackaged him. He looks great. Got the all white, the Ferrari, got the Gucci. He's like the Italian stallion, bald head Italian stallion, something like that. But there has to be something else to this. It can't be this. First feud out the gate, Apollo Crews. Don't get me wrong, Apollo can go, and Apollo was great, but that ain't it. Can't be. What is he gonna beat him up, then beat up Baron Corbin? Like, what is happening there? I don't question much in the Triple H era, but this one right here was questionable to me. Let's wrap A-Town Down Under up quick. I think that is gonna happen. It's coming. If they have some sort of Grayson Waller effect or something at Bad Blood, I could see it happening there. I can. This has to happen. The Austin Theory is ready for a babyface run. I'm ready for an Austin Theory babyface run. Can he get a title? Who knows? He should be able to get a singles title. He should be able to get into the championship picture if they book it right. I'm not here to book the territory, but I'm just Theory's on my list of future world champions and guys who can tear things up. I will give a list of that. I'm working on a lot of wrestling lists. I'm working on a lot of lists. Listen, y'all, I got 3 pods that I'm doing plus a pick show, and I'm working on launching a 4th pod. So y'all just bear with me with a lot of these lists and stuff. I'll get them out as soon as I can. I might just put them up on my Facebook and just let them rock like that. Speaking of, man, if y'all are watching, no matter where y'all are watching at, if y'all are watching on YouTube, please like, subscribe, and share the video. Facebook, like, subscribe. Well, you don't have to subscribe. Just like it and share it. All my Spotify, excuse me, Spotify people. Make sure y'all go and like. Make sure y'all share. And just pass the word around, man. I do a lot here. Like I am the I'm doing a lot here. But yeah, let's wrap A-Town Down Under up. Let's get Austin Theory and Grayson Waller in a feud because both guys actually can go in the ring. I'd love to see those 2 guys one-on-one and doing some type of a feud. And it may occur towards the end of the year. Maybe they long-term this thing and let it start at the Royal Rumble and blow it off come WrestleMania or something like that. We'll see. I love the insertion of LA Knight into the Andrade and Carmelo Hayes feud. That's a nice touch. Because those 2 in that feud, like they put on 4 great matches. They do have a 5th coming up, I believe, this Friday. Maybe they run it back one more time to go 6 or 7. Or just put them in a triple threat. Because that's the direction it seems to be going. I'm okay with that. LA Knight is the megastar. Andrade is so good in that ring. And Carmelo Hayes is another one of those guys that is on my list who could tear the house down. We saw him do it at NXT for 2 years. We saw him rise from where he was at NXT to being the champion. He is a great baby face, but he is a much better heel than he is a baby. We can all agree to that. To this main event on SmackDown, and I'm wrapping SmackDown up. We're 20 minutes. This main event was decent. No, it was more than decent. It was good. The Bloodline get their win. Of course, they have to win. They have to pile up the wins. No matter how mundane or how predictable, they have to win, and they have to win in the fashion that they win in order for them to continue to be what they are, and for them to continue to actually be something that can challenge excuse me, the OG bloodline. Let me get some water. I am bugging out. They have to be able to challenge the OG bloodline. And I believe if they when they do this war game, that the new bloodline should win because they're really just a few months in. They have to establish. I think they have to establish that dominance and keep that dominance, and somehow, and then they'll end up running this back and allowing the OG bloodline to eventually come out on top, because I think that is what is going to happen. And then you have to factor in that there's a final boss roaming around out there, waiting in the wings to come back. Will he be the fourth member of the OG bloodline? And will that start the Roman versus Rock at Mania 41 in Vegas thing? Hmm. Not booking the territory, just throwing out ideas out there. I still hate the way the Street Profits are being booked. I do not like it. They are too good to continue to lose. They're finally giving B-Fab some talking time, which is good for her because she can talk. She looks good. She is a good-looking woman. Shout out to B-Fab. Canton in the house. Yes, sir. She's beautiful, and she can talk. And they're letting her now. They're giving her the microphone. They're letting her be the mouthpiece, even though the Street Profits really don't need a mouthpiece. And Montez Ford is so good. They also have a NXT tag team championship match tonight. On NXT tonight, and I am going to tune into that because I'm a fan of the Street Profits. But Montez Ford is so good. He deserves a singles run. I think Dawkins deserves a singles run. I believe that you can split them up without them turning on each other. Let them go their separate ways and let them do their thing and let them always come back to each other. But where would that leave B-Fab? Will she end up? She will eventually return to the ring. She is training. So I do believe she will get in some matches. Even though I think a faction with her, Bianca Jade, and Naomi, a little bit of black girl magic, put them all together. You know what I mean? Let them do their thing. I got stuff on Jade and Bianca. But yeah, man, it's some Montez Ford matches out there. I post a lot of stuff on my page weekly. I just post a bunch of wrestling stuff on my page. But there's one particular match, and I've talked to my dude Chris about this. Like a match that would be so dope, and I think the build up to it would be so dope, and I don't think it matters who's heel and who's face. The people are gonna choose who they want to choose in this match. But I think the match would be fire. And that was SmackDown, man. SmackDown was, like I said, man, it seemed like they kind of phoned it in for the last one. There weren't a lot of, I was expecting some surprise. It was kind of like the Raw after Mania. What was that, last year, the year before last? Where it was kind of like, ew, like, what the hell is this? But Raw, on the other hand, was loaded from top to bottom. Of course, they're competing with Monday Night Football, which is crazy to say that the WWE, like wrestling companies be like, we're competing with WWE, and WWE is like, man, we compete with Monday Night Football. We competing with Tuesday Night Hoops during basketball season. We're competing with ESPN on Friday Night Basketball. We're competing with local high school football on Friday nights on television. They compete with everybody else. Other wrestling companies are competing with them. They don't even look at other wrestling companies as competition. They don't give a damn, as they should. But it started with the YS6 over American Made. Hopefully this thing is over. I want both of these factions to move on from each other. I want to see American Made get into a legit feud, and I want to see the Creed brothers go after some tag team gold. But being that the tag team gold is around the waist of another heel team, I don't think we're going to see that anytime soon. But I do see those tag titles changing hands against who? I don't know yet, because the tag team division on Raw is kind of nasty. The tag team divisions in WWE period are just kind of like, what are y'all doing? To me, I like American Made because I like the Creed brothers. I like Chad Gable. Ivy now is okay. She is a little pitbull. She gets down. I like the women wrestlers that has her kind of attitude and spunk, but like her and Nikki Cross was knocking hell out of each other. I mean, they was kicking the dog out of each other. I'm trying to go profanity free this week, like not using the George Carlin 7 forbidden words. Wish me luck tomorrow. Talk about the Browns. I'll say that about that. But yeah, man. Hopefully this YS6 American Made thing is over. I'm not over the YS6. I just want them to go after somebody else. I want them to do something else. I want to see them, like, they've told their story. They've beaten American Made every single time. And for once, there's Wyatt and winning a feud. Like, what's next for them? Are they gonna just go after individuals? Will they go after other factions? Karrion Kross, maybe. Do they still want smoke with Jey Uso? For the Fireflies? I don't know. American Made needs to be in another proper feud. They need another tag team that they can go against. Maybe them and the New Day. The New Day do have a tag team championship matchup next week. That's not on my board. I just remembered that. Their segment, like, I think they've changed their plans up. Hopefully they don't break the New Day up now. Now I don't want them to break. I thought the whole Odyssey Jones thing with him, they were going to break up, but apparently now Odyssey Jones is no longer a part of WWE. He got caught up in a domestic dispute. I hope it's resolved. However it's resolved, if he's guilty, deuces, ooses. If he's not guilty, hopefully he gets an opportunity to redeem himself. But as of right now, he gone. Judgment Day reestablishing its dominance. I liked. Don't make them look like mutts, at least not just yet. Let Finn, and I don't know if y'all see it or if y'all want to see it, or maybe I'm reaching, or maybe I'm looking ahead. Maybe I'm trying to book the territory, which I don't try to. Do they split that thing in two again? Pause. Do JD and Finn go their way, and Dom, Liv, and Carlito go their way? Is there a world or a scenario where that happened? Is there a world or a scenario where they get somehow the goal gets they get cost those they lose those tag team titles on some fluky, like Carlito does something stupid, they kick him out. Just throwing it out there. But I did like them reestablishing their dominance, beating up on Damian Priest, Liv getting hers in on Rhea Ripley, which led to their match being announced, or was it beforehand, before the segment? I'll get to the Bad Blood card in a second, or I'll get to it at the end of the show. They announced that Priest gets beat up by Judgment Day. They beat him with a crutch, him covering up Rhea. So the Terror Twins getting beat down. We know what's gonna happen at Bad Blood. Jade and Bianca dominate over Isla and Alba. They really don't have any challengers. Who's the challenge? I mean, Damage Control is gonna get another shot, but we saw what they did to them at WrestleMania. We saw what they did to them after that. Alba and Isla had their shot. Now they just get to go back to SmackDown with Blair, and they can do whatever. They can wreak their havoc. PFC somewhere in there. Shayna and why do I draw a blank with them? Maybe it's because they're not Zoe. There it is, Zoe Stark, and I always forget the other one's name. And she's like the one who put the fusion. She the one fused the collective. But Zoe and Shayna are a tag team, and I think they're a pretty damn good tag team. Why do I always forget this girl? But with Bianca and Jade, like, they're so dominant. Like, who's believable to beat them? Because they ran through Damage Control like they were trash. Again, man, the tag division is in such disarray. It's nasty, man. Like, they got to do something. Like, those tag belts are cursed. Everybody who wins those tag belts, something happens. Let's move on. The Bret Hart, Gunther, and Sammy segment was brilliant. Sonya Deville is her name. You stop drawing these blanks. But this segment was brilliant. It's always good to see Bret Hart. I'm a huge Bret Hart fan. The best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. To me, he is still the second greatest performer ever. HBK is number one, but Bret Hart is number two. Bret and Shawn is what I grew up on. I'm done with the 90s, but except for Bret and Shawn. Okay? Sue me. This segment was wonderful. Gunther, listen, y'all. We all want to root for Gunther because he's so good. Gunther is great. I'm gonna start doing some power rankings. I'll do a WWE power ranking starting in October. Okay. My first show in my brand new studio, at my new house. I'll do a power ranking. I don't know if I'm gonna do Raw, SmackDown. Do I want to do just the top 10 period? Maybe I'll do the top 5 from Raw, the top 5 from SmackDown. But Gunther is there. Gunther, right now, the way Raw looks, he's at the top of the list. He is so good. He's so good that people want to cheer for him. So they have him say these things to get people to boo. The Bill Goldberg reference to Bret the Hitman Hart is WWE genius. I don't know who fed him the line. I don't know if it was Triple H. I don't know if it was Bruce Pritchard. I don't know if it was Jason Jordan. I don't know if it was Jamie Noble. I don't know if it was William Regal. Whoever did it. It is genius to drop Bill Goldberg's name in Calgary, Alberta, Canada on Bret the Hitman Hart, Calgary's favorite son. It was brilliant. You can't write it better than what it is. I loved it. Like, again, I'm going to speak in storyline. I'm not going to get to the outside of it because Bret Hart did have a smile on his face. They both had smiles on their face and laughed, and were laughing as if they both were like, hey, let's try this line. Like, this line is going to work. But it was brilliant. Out comes Sammy. The Johnny Gordo tribute. He had the jersey, the Calgary, and WWE did a great job with that tribute. I love how WWE is really now, since this TKO merger and the Triple H era has begun, how they have made themselves more professional sports league like. Because as far as it goes, WWE is right there with the NFL and the NBA and Major League Baseball and the National Hockey League. They are major players. Like, they are it. Like, they're still the most popular. They've always been the most popular, with that exception of 83 weeks with WCW that year and a half. But WWE has always been on top. WWE, WWF, WWF has always been known as like the big leagues and where everybody wants to go. It was New York City. It was the big money. It's the major league. But that was nice, man. That was great. It was good stuff. And then Joe Tessitore, he was better this week. I thought he did pretty good last week. He thought he sucked. I disagree. Tess, you can't do any wrong. Dominic Mysterio is a future world champion, whether you like it or not. I cannot wait until he gets his run and he gets his turn, because he ready. Natalya comes home. Welcome back, Natty. She comes back. She's been off. She recently signed a new deal with WWE, so that was kind of a big deal. She came and helped out Zelina Vega. They beat the Pure Fusion Collective. I really hate that name. They gotta do something. Drew McIntyre. This segment was awesome. Love this segment. Drew McIntyre, his win-loss record may not show it, but Drew McIntyre is having an awesome year. Drew McIntyre, since the pandemic, since that Royal Rumble, he's been having a hell of a run. Since 2020, he's been having a hell of a 4-year run. Winning championships, being contender for the championship, the heel turn, like, he's having a great year. He's having an all-time great year. Punk and Drew is the feud of the year, and it's not even close. Drew is coming unhinged. He's spiraling. He's crashing out, y'all. To step to your friend, Bad News Barrett. And when he did that, I was like, oh, are they going to get physical? Are they going to get physical? I was crossing my finger. I was praying. Because ever since Wade Barrett made it back to WWE, started at NXT on commentary, moved to Raw and SmackDown, I have been praying that Wade Barrett steps back in the ring. Wade Barrett versus Drew McIntyre. Count me in. Y'all remember they are him, Wade Barrett, Drew McIntyre, and Sheamus are that big European three that all came over around the same time. They're all friends. They've all known each other for years. Those were the imports. The British, Irish, and Scottish. Like that. Oh my goodness. Make it happen. Finn versus Ray was a dream match in my mind. I always wanted to see those two really go at it. But I get what they're doing here. They're establishing more of Finn Balor as the man and trying to make him a threat to Damian Priest. And more Judgment Day dominant. The Fatal 4-Way main event was a banger. Jey Uso got the dub there. So Jey Uso will go against Bron Breakker at some point. Will it be at Bad Blood? We don't know. Will it be on Raw? Maybe. I've noticed WWE, like some of these title matches, like the Intercontinental title or the US title, they put those on the line and they'll change that belt. They'll do that title change on Raw or SmackDown. And I'm fine with that. The belt doesn't have to change hands on a pay-per-view all the time. You do have to bring some variety. I did like it once. Listen, do y'all remember NXT 2014, 2015, 2016 when the NXT championship was changing hands and the matches weren't on TV? Triple H very well may bring that back. And I wouldn't be mad at him if he did. But we will get Jey versus Breakker at some point, couple of weeks, maybe the go home edition of Raw before Bad Blood, maybe the Raw after Bad Blood, maybe at Bad Blood. We'll see. I am now officially a Bronson Reed fan. Absolute monster. I'm gonna call him Big Bam Vader. Vader Bigelow or Bam Bam Vader, something like that, because that is exactly who he is. I've been saying that for the past couple of weeks. He is a cross between Big Van Vader and Bam Bam Bigelow. So I will just call him Bam Bam Vader or Van Bigelow or something like that. But that boy, he's just squashed Braun Strowman. And please, 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 WWE, can we please get a proper Pete Dunne, Ilya Dragunov feud? That match screamed opening pay-per-view match. Those two little dudes, please make it happen. I want a proper feud between those two. I love them both. It'll be like a just the mere thought of that. But overall, like I said, this was a stacked Raw. It was fire from top to bottom, all 3 hours. It got to the point where I looked up and it got to Finn and Ray, and I'm like, damn, it's after 10 o'clock. It didn't even seem like it. Triple H has done a great job of that and not making that third hour of Raw blah before a blah main event or a blah ending. Before we get out of here, a couple of one thing that was announced. I think it was announced last night. I saw it this morning. Raw starting October the 7th. Raw will be moving to 2 hours. As you know, they are moving to Netflix. I think the contract with WWE and USA with Raw, it expires around that time or somewhere in there, and it's just a whole bunch of like business and red tape stuff that's way above my pay grade that I wish I could explain to you guys, and y'all will be like, oh, I get it. I can explain it to you, but y'all will be sitting there scratching y'all head and y'all will have like 40 other questions. But they'll be moving to 2 hours starting October 7th up until their January 5th debut on Netflix. Now, will they be 3 hours on Netflix? We're not sure of that. They're saying it depends. Like with going to streaming, like the commercial, like we don't know, like with commercials or whatever they're gonna do. Um, they have flexibility. They can go 2 hours. They can go 2.5 hours. It really doesn't make a difference. We're going to have to see about that. And also, the final thing, they have announced the Vince McMahon documentary, The Rise and Fall of Vince McMahon. It comes out on September 25th, I believe. Yes, it comes out September the 25th. I'll be in the process of moving. Hopefully, I'll get an opportunity to watch all 6 parts of this thing. And hopefully, I will be able to sit in front of you guys and talk about this. I'm hoping. I personally want to. I'm hearing like the name of it, like they've changed the name of it. It wasn't called what it's called. Now it's called The Rise and Fall of Vince McMahon, but that isn't what it was called. This is Bill Simmons doing this. I'm hoping this isn't a hit piece. I'm hearing it's a hit piece. I hear Dave Meltzer is in it. They've talked to him at length. They talked to David Shoemaker at length. Any wrestling fan, you hear those 2 names, and it has something to do with anything that has to do with Vince McMahon and WWE, it smells like hit piece. WWE has no control over this documentary. Vince McMahon is in it. I really do hope they go from like beginning to end or whatever. Like I want to like there are some things in that Vice documentary that I only watched like the first like 20 minutes or so of it, and I was like, all right, this is crap. I'm not watching this crap. Where's the real thing at? When I first saw this, I initially thought it was gonna be like, oh, okay, so they're doing this. They're closing the book on Vince. And then they're going to be, then bam, here comes Monday Night Raw to Netflix. That's what I thought they were doing. I don't know if anybody else saw it like that, but please, I hope this is not a hit piece. I'm really praying. David Shoemaker is known to make things up, as well as Dave Meltzer makes up a bunch of stuff. Like, I'm really praying. I am going to be watching this. I can't wait for this to come out. I am eagerly anticipating that. And with that said, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap this thing up, man. I want to thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure y'all tune in next week. We'll recap the first the rebirth of SmackDown on the USA Network. This is WWE week for the next 3 weeks. I love how marketing like ESPN does College Bowl week, and it's a whole damn month of College Bowl games. So this is WWE week. It started last night with Raw. So we got Raw, SmackDown, and NXT, all 3 on the same network at the same damn time for the next 3 weeks. Going to enjoy it. So I will see you guys next week. Make sure y'all tune in. Tomorrow. Pizzle's Picks and Club Pizzle. Pizzle's Picks at 7. Club Pizzle at 8. I'm going to be talking about my Cleveland Browns. Wish me luck on swearing. I think I'm going to have to pull the swear jar out just to keep myself from swearing. So, all my wrestler heads out there, man, I'm sorry I didn't get to talk about AEW All Out. It seemed like a lot of murders happened there. That's the only thing I saw from the highlights. It was like they were committing felonious assaults and like murder and stuff like that. But y'all are welcome to talk about it. Anybody can explain it to me or send me a link and tell me about it. We getting out of here though, man. I will see you all next week, all my wrestling fans. Deuces, ooses.